Hi everyone, my name is Anna, and I'm going to be summarizing Chapter 5, Proceeding, from Skinner. So, um, off bat, Skinner states that one of the most difficult problems facing behavioralism is perception, and his answer is to be found in specific roles assigned to the stimulus in a operant analyst. And then he goes on with the perceiver and or receiver. He talks about a more realistic view. Example is in the Greek, he states you can't capture or hold the outside row. You can make a copy, and that's the data that you will look back to retrieve and make actions on. And then he goes on giving an example of an eye and how that's how perceiving is. But on 81, I'll just read a little part. The two fundamentals could be combined. An image of the outside roar striking the retina of the eye, activating it to result of vision. The transformation of the retina image into perceiveness. Both fundamental attended into the inner representations of the reality, its vastly transformation. So basically that's how he summarized perceiving in two ways. But in the end, he does state that stimulus is just from the outside world. Out of the body. Then he goes to the stimulus control the operant behavior. He states that environment or stimuli affects the organism before or after. And he goes on, talks about the behavior. It's not a reflex, it's a he just states that if a stimulated percent when its response is reinforced, acquires some control over the response. But if it happens over time, giving a chance, it can prone to be more generalization could happen. And then he goes on with the conditions affecting what we see. And I wrote down John Locke's theory. And basically, summarizing the theory is a person's judge the world as he perceives it. Two things that he points out is genetic endowment and personal history. So, okay, yeah, I'll go on with that one. So basically, what person's experience does affect how you perceive things. And he goes on talking about stimulus weaken. If a stimulus is weaker than others, the others will more impact-like. And the example he gives is ghosts. And he goes also talk about when you care about someone like your significant others, how you view that person will be different if it was someone else, like a regular person or a friend or a strange family member. Okay, and then also in this section he does talk about having a certain kind of pattern focus on the organism to perceive them in a certain way. Example he gives is a bird. You could hear it, so you know that's there. So like if you were seeing it and you see a truck and all that, you know it's there, even though a truck might block it, your view. And then it goes to the next section, experience versus reality. And this one, he talks about how behaviorism has a fault in that it does. I'll just read those three examples. How the situation looks to the person and how the person interprets the situation, or what meaning a situation has on the person. Those are some of the examples he gives, talking about what could affect the reality of the situation for a person. And then the section, there's two psychologists, Wanchent and Titchers. Sorry if I pronounced the name wrong. Well, they try to discover what a person saw, and here that they try to make it in pure context of current stimuli without tainting it. So they were careful in using the words. So example I put is what's in the book is salty taste instead of taste salt. And then the result was that sensitivity seems different from reality because changes of stimulus did not produce comparing changes in what was seen. And then, so how people see it is different than what's there. That's to my knowledge what it's saying. And it also talks about the discrimination control of stimuli. It still continues on talking about experiments and how scientists are going back and forth, talking about the quality of image and the idea. But Skinner states that in the end, these are not problems for behavioralism because you're observing the behavior. And he argues that the layman and the scientists are just simply looking into the opposite of the same thing and is missing to the point. So basically, it's the same thing, like that it is not important for behaviorism. I mean, it's does argue. Yeah, I think I need to go back to that and think about that one. But he does state that the genetics and the environment does make an impact. And he goes on talking about the copy theory. So the copy theory. So yeah, a copy theory. Like I said, a lot of people use it, but problem is that only could be applied to visual simulation. Other things don't work. Like you could taste a fruit, you could feel a hug, and that doesn't work with copy theory. As well as like it says sensory control, and had it here, psychological and physically of the perceivement. And then he goes on talking about seeing the absence of the things seen. So this goes more in detail, like why people buy certain things. The example they give is like Venice. Is beautiful, so you're more likely to buy a picture of Venice if you can't go yourself to get that reinforcement. And then we go talk about the mind of stimulus control. And this one is just, I'll just read the last two parts. This is talking about self-knowledge. If you recognizing what we have once collected, that's deja vu, and that deja vu part is the self-knowledge of detected. The other kind of self-knowledge is about stimulus controlling becoming available when we analyze the conditions in which control our behavior. Okay, with that said, the two questions I have is, when it came to experience and reality, what basically what situation you had been with that your experience is different than what reality is, and it may have took you a couple of days to realize, oh yeah, that wasn't how it went out. And another thing is, after reading the chapter, how did your perceivements change? Thank you for listening.